really like to ask for your help. I'd like to ask for your help with one of the more important aspects of my priestly life and ministry. That would be my relationship with the church, with the people of God, with you. And I ask for this help because even though I'm celebrating now 21 years of priestly service, I hope, God willing, that there is still another 25 or 30 years left in which I can be of use to you. But to do that, I have to maintain over those years an honest and authentic relationship with you. And 25 or 30 years is a long time for bad habits to develop, a long time for wrong ideas to grow. And I'd ask two things of you. One, that you don't promote an inaccurate view of my priesthood that I might start to believe, because it won't help you and it won't help me. And that if I, over the years, start to think of myself or my priesthood in ways that aren't authentic, that aren't faithful to the gospel and to Jesus and to the church, to you, that you'll tell me, that you'll hold me accountable. I was thinking this week, as we reflect on Jesus kind of starting that work of ministry, even beyond mission, that those that he chooses and sends with special work, how that affects each of us, but in some ways especially how this affects us as priests in the church, priests and religious and ministers who dedicate a lot of their life in that core of the ecclesiastical community, organizing, working, supporting. I remember Archbishop Gomez once, many years ago, was giving a talk to our San Antonio chapter of the Sarah Club, a group that works to support and promote vocations to the priesthood. And I remember one of the questions was kind of question and answer open forum. It's fun to listen to the Archbishop kind of just speak from his heart. And somebody asked him something along the lines of if priests were holier than lay people. And he thought for a second and he said, priests, like lay people, grow in holiness over the course of a life lived in fidelity. And to make that happen, just like for lay people, that requires accountability, that requires a push and pull, it requires sacrifice, it requires love to become concrete in the ways that we live our lives. And he said, so while priests probably don't start out very holy, like you, they have to grow in holiness as they live their lives. And I took that as a challenge for myself and a way of understanding holiness in priesthood. I wanted to start with this, but it was too negative, and so I saved it until now. But I believe that the most dangerous form of idolatry that currently exists in our church, the world has its own idols, but in our Catholic Church, the most dangerous form of idolatry that we have to find a way to resolve is our tendency to pretend that our priests represent God in ways that they don't. And that's idolatry, because we make God those who can't live up to the demands of being God, because we aren't. And it's dangerous. I know everybody wants something that they can believe in. Everybody wants something concrete that they can hold up and count on. But be careful. Because in making another man that place where you put all of your religious hope, you will be disappointed. And that's not the worst. You might convince me that the things you believe about me are true. And that will cause a lot of trouble in the church. I had a parochial vicar once who spent too much time with people that thought he was too godly. And he once told me that he had done something humble, gone to somebody's birthday party, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, that's nice. I'm glad you went. And he said, yes, sometimes we must show the people our human side. And I looked at him, I'm like, what other side do you have? Like, who convinced you that you're different, that you're special, that you're... Because Jesus didn't say that. He said, you're gonna die, right? He said, you're going to suffer. He said, they're gonna drag you to prison. He didn't say you're special. He said you have to serve, you have to be last. He didn't say that everybody should worship you. In fact, he said, don't even let anybody call you Father. But we haven't done that very well. And at this point in my priesthood, I'm grateful to say that I am not willing to be a symbol for you of divinity. That's not the job of the ministerial priesthood. The job of the ministerial priesthood is to serve the community of believers. And I will try to do that. But back to where we began, I really do ask for your help. I ask for accountability. Challenge me when I'm wrong, not because you think something, not because of some stupid ideology. Like, I don't actually have a lot of use for being lobbied by people. That's not what I'm proposing. I'm proposing that if you see me unfaithful, I'm proposing that if you see where I could grow, where I could love more authentically, where I could be more sincere, that you find a way to challenge me in that. And I'm mostly asking that you acknowledge with me that we are brothers, and that if God has called me to the priesthood, He has not called me to a position of respect or a position of greater dignity. He's called me to a position of service. And that service, I ask you to pray, will last a lifetime, maybe another 25 or 30 years.
Cae la tarde, es el fin de la jornada. Busco tu presencia, vengo a tu casa.